to this last segment of this Wednesday edition of Focal Point on AFR Talk. Brian Fisher is my name. Great to have you in the conversation. If you want to join the conversation, join the program here in the last segment. 888-589-8840 is the number to call. Got some more content I want to deliver. Before we do that, let's grab a quick call from George in Jefferson County, Georgia. George, welcome to Focal Point. What's on your mind?
How you doing, Brian?
Good. How are you?
I'm fine. Every day is always at what is that? DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
Every day is at DEFCON 1.
Yeah.
Oh, I'm a parent too. I got two children, 37 and 23, two marriages. What I was, I didn't want the first one anyway. I didn't want the divorce, but it happened. But anyway, these people love their kids just like we loved our kids. You got to send them to a different school or do something where, they get these taxes for the kids going to school, and they don't show up. They don't get paid that day. These parents that love their children, do something for them. Get this: the Muslims are trying to take over this country, and they're trying to put all their stuff in the books. That's ridiculous. And we're just letting them do it all the time. These people just like going to a store. What they need to do: stop going to that store. If they're not doing something if they're doing something bad at that store, don't go there.
Mm-hmm.
Don't go there.
Well, and that's why I think, George. Yeah, and I appreciate your call, and that's why I think parental choice is so important in education. I think that's the one thing. That's like a silver bullet to fix the education system. Just parental choice. Tax dollars, education dollars, follow the child to the school of the parent's choice. You do that, you're going to solve the education problems, because parents, just as George was saying, they love their kids more than anybody on planet Earth. They love them more than teachers do. They love them more than the president of the Teachers Union does. They love them more than the principal does. They love them more than the superintendent does. There's nobody on planet Earth that loves their kids more than their own parents. And so we can trust them with making a decision about what the best educational environment is for their children. And that, I think, is the solution. And again, there is, because of activist judges, there's a legal impediment, but there is no constitutional impediment with having taxpayer dollars following a child to a private Christian school. None, zero, zip, nada. No constitutional problem with that whatsoever. The Constitution is absolutely, completely, utterly silent on whether tax dollars can be spent in private Christian schools. So it's not a constitutional issue. It's been made one by activist judges, but the Constitution itself, the founders themselves, no prohibition against that happening at all. 888-589-8840 is the number to call. And back to the abortion issue just for a second. The Obama administration has abandoned the battle over the HHS mandate. Remember, the HHS mandate, not part of the law, just one of the rules issued by Kathleen Sebelius, saying that private businesses, even if they're run by Christians who have deeply held convictions about abortion, they still have to pay for abortion-causing medication for their employees at their own expense. And this is a mandate. And a lot of companies have taken the Obama administration to court. Hobby Lobby got a ruling from the 10th Circuit that they are liable to be successful. 10th Circuit says, we're going to stay this penalty. You don't have to pay the penalty in the interim while we're making a final decision on this, because we believe that your chances of success at an upper level are very, very high. I'm trying to find the exact language in there. You have established a likelihood of success. So the 10th Circuit says, Hobby Lobby, you're going to win. This thing goes up the chain, you're going to win. Likelihood of success. Therefore, we're going to issue this injunction against the fines that otherwise Obama would try to be assessing on your company. And now Obama has completely dropped a defense against a lawsuit that was filed by Trigicon. They make optics and aiming systems for the military. This is the outfit, by the way, that put Bible verses on their sites. And Obama said, no, you got to take those off. Can't have them. Got to etch those off. That's Trigicon. And they filed a lawsuit, and the Obama administration is not even going to defend. Trigicon says, look, we do not want to have to pay this, to pay for our employees to get these abortion-causing medications. And the Obama administration says, fine, we're not even going to contest it in court. So they are going to win that one by default. So that's a good win. And a study from Bangladesh, the Journal of Dhaka Medical College, indicates that in Bangladesh, and there are other factors involved here, so the the risks are going to be higher there than they would be in the United States. But in Bangladesh, this medical college discovered that women who have an abortion history, that have had prior abortions, they are at 20 times the risk of developing breast cancer. 20 times the risk of developing breast cancer. So once again, we see another well-established link between early abortions and increased elevated risk for breast cancer. Now, I want to spend a couple of minutes on this healthcare issue because we've been talking about this for some time now, and I've been very active supporting the Ted Cruz effort to defund Obamacare through a continuing resolution. We had scholar Hans von Spakovsky on yesterday saying, yes, it can, in fact, be defunded through a continuing resolution. I've got a piece here today that says, no, it can't. And I want to talk about that for just a second. But I want to go back to the polling data that was done by Heritage Action for America. You know, and I read for you the excerpt from National Review Online, which opposes the Ted Cruz effort. But they reported that 57% of voters in these 10 swing districts, competitive districts, 57% of voters want Obamacare defunded. Only 34% of them would oppose an effort to defund. In other words, there is no political risk for Republicans in getting behind this effort. It's just that there are scaredy cats. That's what it is. The Mitch McConnells, the John McCains, the Lindsey Grahams, they are nothing more than a bunch of scaredy cats who are afraid that the Washington Post is going to beat them up when they ought to be afraid of their constituents. Now, Heritage Action for America did this polling data, and they asked them about this shutdown. What happens if you got a government shutdown? Because what Ted Cruz and Mike Lee are saying is, look, we're going to present a continuing resolution that would provide for the funding of the entire government except for Obamacare. Implementation for Obamacare, that would be the only thing that would not be funded under our continuing resolution. So every other one of your little pet programs, every other one of your little pet projects, your welfare plan, you want to fund surfer dudes getting shrimp and lobster with EBT cards, that's all going to be funded. We're not going to tamper with that. The only thing that wouldn't be funded is implementation for Obamacare. So you can have every other one of your bloated, outrageous government programs except for Obamacare. Government be fully funded except for Obamacare. And what this means then, ladies and gentlemen, if the government gets shut down, it will be because the Democrats shut it down. It'll be because Harry Reid shuts it down. It'll be because Barack Obama shuts it down. It won't be the Republicans shutting down government. Republicans will be offering a bill that says we'll fund everything. We'll keep the rest of this gargantuan, gigantic, ginormous, out-of-control government. We'll keep your precious pet government. We'll keep it funded, except for Obamacare. So if that's not good enough for you, then you will be the one shutting down government. We Republicans want to keep it open. We've got a bill here that will fund your precious government, so you will be shutting it down. So Heritage says, what happens if we get to a shutdown? Who's going to get the blame? Because that's the thing that the Republicans are worried about. Who's going to get blamed for this? Here's what the Heritage poll found out. And remember, these are in competitive districts. These are not safe Republican districts, not safe Democratic districts. So this is a pretty good cross-section of the American people. This was conducted by Basswood Research. They found that 28% of respondents in the 10 districts would blame Republicans for a shutdown. So 28% would blame Republicans. That sounds bad. Well, here you go. 22% would blame Obama, and 19% would blame Democrats. Now, I haven't been through Common Core, so I do have some limited math skills. I can put these numbers together. 28%, this is our Fisher factoid for the day for all these nervous Nellies, all these scaredy cats out there, the Karl Roves, the John McCains, the John Cornyn's that are out there, they're wringing their hands, nervous, sweating, perspiring over the possibility that Republicans would get blamed for a shutdown. Here is the reality. 28%, yes, would blame the Republicans, but 22% would blame President Obama, and 19% would blame Democrats. Now, I don't have a trained eye, But if you add 22 and 19, I come up with 41. That means 41% of respondents would blame Obama or Democrats. Only 28% would blame Republicans. Now, again, I don't have a trained eye, but 41 is more than 28. So more people will blame Democrats and Obama for the government shutdown than would blame the Republicans. And 57% of them, they want Obamacare defunded. The poll also found that almost 60% of respondents would support a temporary slowdown in non-essential federal government operations in order to get an agreement from President Obama to at least slow down the implementation of Obamacare. So that's, there it is. 60% of respondents would support a temporary slowdown in non-essential federal government if it would slow down the implementation of Obamacare. So in other words, the reality is the American people are with Ted Cruz. The American people are with you and me. The American people are with the 300,000 people, over 300,000 now, that have signed the petition at don'tfundobamacare.com. Remember, don't without the apostrophe. The American people are with Ted Cruz and with Mike Lee. They are not with Karl Rove and the Nervous Nellies in the Republican Party. Now, may the God who gives endurance and encouragement give you a spirit of unity among yourselves as you follow Christ Jesus, so that with one heart and mouth you may glorify the God and Father of our Lord Jesus Christ. God bless you. See you tomorrow.
The views